everyone, Namaste. I hope you're well and I hope you're staying safe under all the circumstances and are taking all the precautions possible. A lot of you have asked me what are the different kinds of batiks whenever we launch Indonesian batik inspired kurtis, or whether we launch copper block kurtis and stuff like that, and so I wanted to make it clear once and for all. So for the purpose of this video, I would like to identify batik into 4 different types. First would be the copper block, second would be the wooden block, third would be the kalam batik that is done using canting, and fourth would be the cracks batik. Of course, you can use cracks batik as a very basic form of batik and just a wax resist dyeing, but just for the purpose of this video and to explain you further, I wanted to classify that as a batik type. Now here you have the copper batik, copper block batik. You see the outlines are very tiny, very thin, quite similar to how it would be using a pen. This is because the block of batik is made using copper, and so the metal outline is very thin compared to how you see the wooden outline. All of the copper block batik items that you see across the market would have very thin outlines, and the key to identifying whether it's a block print or a screen print is to look at the cracks. If it's authentic wax batik, then the cracks will be in different places across the entire fabric and not uniform. Now the second and the third form are in this piece where you have the kalam batik. As you can see, these are all done using free hand and then hand painted here. The hand painting technique has been inspired by the Indonesian batik technique that's there, and these are handcrafted freehand. So these so you don't have any kind of stencil or anything for this. People just there are craftsmen who are doing this on a daily basis using a tool called canting. You can identify this with the fact that both the S's in this piece are of different circumferences. So the one here is bigger, the one here is smaller, so this can't be block and this can't be screen. Each of these motifs will be completely different to the other. The third here that we talked about was the cracks batik, where what we do is the entire fabric is covered with wax. Then the fabric, once the wax dries, the fabric is crushed and then it's put on for dyeing. So wherever the fabric had those cracks in the wax, the dye seeps in, but wherever the wax remains, the dye doesn't seep in. So obviously the cracks are completely uneven throughout the fabric, and the dye seeps in a very different way. For some parts of the fabric, the dye is more. For some of them it's very tiny, and you'll find some parts to have more maroon dye that was done, some parts to have none, and that's just because of the fact as to how the wax cracked when the fabric was crushed. The fourth and the last variety that we'll talk about is the wooden blocks. So wooden blocks are what are used in all kinds of different kinds of block printing techniques, but the blocks that are used in batik are slightly thicker to make way for the wax to seep onto the fabric. So you see the thick outlines are what we are used to seeing generally in batik, and this is the most crude, the basic form of batik that there is. It's available everywhere, and batik has been shown to be very common across different continents, different countries and everything. In more newer sense, if we could use that word, you've got more multicolored batiks coming in, you've got more techniques that are seeping in, and this is when batik has differentiated itself into more premium ranges with copper blocks as well, while it used to be thought as a very casual wear thing with the regular wooden block. So I really do hope this video gives you more clarity as to the different kinds of batiks, and I do hope you will be able to identify them more in the upcoming series that we bring out. The last thing I do also want to talk about is the Indonesian inspired batik that we are doing with all our figurines and everything. In these kind of Indonesian inspired things, what we do is the outline is created using a screen print. Obviously these outlines are all inspired by Rajasthani folk paintings and the drawings that have been done for over the years. They've been created by an artist which has been used to make a screen. The screen is used to make this drawing. Further after that, it's either hand painted using regular paints, regular dyes, or you use wax to resist it and then dye the fabric into another color and stuff like that to bring about the cracks patterns. So all of the Indonesian inspired kurtis or items that you see in the market with figurines like this will always have screen printing done for the outline of the figure, and the painting will be done by hand. So these are the different kinds of batiks that are there in the market at the moment. If you know of any more, do let us know. Thank you.